Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is very similar to our warm-up, where we went back to elementary school and we divided by hand. Except what we're going to be doing today is called polynomial long division, or sometimes just long division. So we can divide a polynomial by another polynomial to find factors. So I'm going to take 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. I'm going to divide it by 2x plus 1. And we're going to set it up just like our long division problems back in elementary school and like our warm-up here. So this first one, we're going to put in a box, which I've got it down here on this stuff. And then the second one's going to go outside the box. So, and I'm going to jump down here on this one where I got space. And actually, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Hang on a second. Here, let me change this so it's not so tiny when we look at it. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. So, after I put it in the box, I've got about 3 steps, or 2 or 3 steps, and they're going to repeat. So today's stuff is really repetitive, which is kind of nice because it's a little easier to pick up. So, I'm going to look at 2x. I want to know, what can I multiply 2x here by in order to get 6x squared? Or 2x times what equals 6x squared? What can I multiply 2 by to get 6?
3.
3, right? What can I multiply x by to get x squared? X, right?
8.
If I multiply by 3x, 2x times 3x equals 6x squared. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to multiply it by both pieces on this thing outside the box. I'm going to do 3x times 2x, which is 6x squared, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to do 3x times 1, and because it's a plus 3x, I'm going to go plus 3x. So I found out to make it 2x is 6x squared, I multiply by 3x, and then I take this 3x, multiply, it's like I'm kind of going in a circle. How can I make 2x a 6x squared? By doing a 3x. We're going to multiply that 3x in there.
What?
Alright. Yeah. What? Don't you press your mind?
Was Alyssa that was talking?
No, I thought her mind said that. I will. Gotta speak up. Okay. So, you know how when we did our warm-up, we subtracted after I brought down the number here? I minused them. We're going to minus them still, but these minuses look a little different. When I minus, I'm going to have to, it's like I have this part down here in parentheses, and then I've got a minus on the outside. And I'm going to, this minus means I'm going to change the sign on everything. So I'm going to minus 6x squared, and I'm going to minus 3x. So that minus is going to change to a plus. And from there, I'm going to go straight down and add or subtract. So I have 6x squared minus 6x squared, which is
0.
nothing, right? It's 0. I'm not even going to write it down because it's 0.
You just cross them out then?
We could cross them out if you want to. I'm not going to, just because it looks really messy on my screen. And then I'm going to keep going. 7x minus 3x is 4x.
Don't forget that x.
Yep, don't forget your x. Alright. And now that I've subtracted, just like I did on our warm-up problem here with our original long division, I brought down this 8 when I divided by 5, right?
Yeah.
I got 2 after I subtracted, then I brought down the 8. Just like that, I gotta take this 2, and I gotta bring this 2 down. And it's a plus 2, so we're gonna go plus 2. And after I do that, the step 2 and 3 repeats. And we're basically doing the exact same steps, except this time, what can I do to make 2x a 4x? What can I multiply by? Multiply by 2, right? 2x times 2 is 4x. So because I'm multiplying by 2, I'm going to go plus 2 because it's positive.
Oh.
Wait, I'm so lost. How did you get the positive negatives?
Right here?
I'm just kidding.
The negative part and positive part is really confusing.
Right. This one? You'll see it. Okay. Right here?
What's the first one like? Okay.
I know. I'm like, which spot are you?
Like I'm confused on like the minus negative 6x squared.
Okay, we'll do that right now. We'll do that right now. Okay, so 2x times 2 is 4x, right? So I'm going to take this 4x, or excuse me, I'm going to take the 2, I'm going to multiply it by everything in front. 2x times 2 is 4x.
We're gonna do it again?
Yep, repeat the whole process. We're going to repeat a lot of stuff today. So 2x times 2 is 4x, 1
Plus
times
2.
2 is 2. And we got a plus 2. Alright, and this is where it gets a little weird. So, like I did in our warm-up, after we... Okay, hang on, let me jump back to this warm-up real quick, and maybe that'll be better way. So, in this warm-up problem that we didn't do because everybody got it right, let's see, we do 17 goes into 18 once, right? I subtract 17 down here, right?
Yeah.
Like on this warm-up problem, and I get 1. I am going to subtract here too, but it's going to be slightly different. Because I don't just have a 4x, I also have a plus 2, right?
Yeah.
Which means I change this positive 4x to a negative 4x. I also have to change the sign on this plus 2. And it's going to get changed into, instead of a plus, it's going to get changed into a negative 2. So I'm going to cross out that plus and put a minus. And now I'm going to go through. So not only does this 4x, not only does the sign change on there to a minus, the sign changes on the second thing. So it went from plus to minus.
So
And-
then it's gonna be nothing.
Well, what's left?
Oh.
4x minus 4x is 0, right?
Yeah.
What about 2 minus 2?
0.
0. Alright, is there anything else I can bring down?
No.
No. So, when I divide 6x squared plus 7x plus 2, when I divide it by 2x plus 1, I get 3x plus 2. And this last number on the end is my remainder. But if I have a remainder 0, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to actually do anything. If I do get a remainder, I'm going to write it down, but not yet. So when I divide this out, I get 3x plus 2. So when I divide it, I get 3x plus 2. So this is actually all we're going to be doing today. We're just going to keep practicing this because it's not super tough. After a while, it just gets to be log problems. All right, so we're going to go and divide on this one. This one is nice because it's already set up for us. We don't have to make our box ourselves.
She's really itching her ear.
You guys okay up there?
Yeah.
All right. So help me. I will move you if you don't pay attention.
Oh, so help me.
Alright, listen, get us started. How can I make an x, this x right here, 4x squared? Well, I multiply by.
Times. Oh, 4x.
4x, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to take this 4x, and I'm going to bring it back down here, and I'm going to multiply 4x by everything. So, 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x times 5 is 20x. I'm going to go plus 20x. Okay? And this is the part where it's a little weird, and this is where most people get confused. So I have to change the sign on everything. So instead of a positive 4x squared, I'm going to go minus. Instead of a plus 20x, I'm going to go minus. So I'm just going to kind of cross out that plus, make it a minus. Which it looks kind of messy, but then I don't have to erase it. So it's nice. Nice for me. Okay, we're going to go through now, and we're going to go straight down. 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. I'm not even going to write it. Plus 23x minus 20. 3x, right? Alright, so I get 3x. I'm going to drop down minus 16. And the whole process repeats. How can I make x 3x?
3 times 3.
Multiply by 3, right?
Yeah.
So because that's positive, I'm going to go plus 3. And just like last time, we're going to take this 3 and multiply it by everything outside the box.
Plus 30.
So I'm going to go 3x plus 15.
Oh. 30. What was that? Oh, I was having, I don't know what I was looking at.
You ready to change the thing? Alright, so after I write this down, this is where everybody gets confused. We got to change the sign on everything. So I have minus 3x squared, and the plus 15 changes to minus 15.
What if when it's minus, we change it to a plus?
You do change it to a plus. Yes. So if it's already a minus, it flips to plus. If it's already a plus, it flips to minus. And we're going to go through and add or subtract straight down. 3x minus 3x is 0. I'm not even going to write it. But then I get negative 16 minus 15. That's a negative 31, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else I can drop down?
No.
Nope. So this is my remainder.
Do you put remainder 31?
And for remainder, I usually just use capital R. So for my remainder, I'm going to go R negative 31. And leave it like that. So this whole problem equals 4x plus 3, remainder negative 31. I'm not going to make you do this, but I want to mention this in case you have a textbook and you like double check your answers in the back. So there's a different way you can write remainders. Instead of going remainder negative 31 like this, we can actually put it in the polynomial. So this is the same thing as if I were to go 4x plus 3, and then I were to go plus negative 31 over x plus 5. So this is actually the same thing. I'm not going to make you write your answer like this bottom one here, but if you double check your answer in the book, it's going to look like this. It's going to look weird. And basically what it means is this top piece is your remainder. And I don't like this form very much, but your book likes to use it. So if you use your book and you see this answer, don't freak out. So I'm just going to mention it real quick, but we're not going to really use it in class. So that's your final answer. Alright, let's have you guys help me out on this next one a little bit. So the first thing I need to do is actually set up my problem.
Put box.
So we're going to make a box. And May, what's going to go inside the box?
M squared
Yep.
minus 7m minus 11.
Perfect. And that means m minus 8 is going outside the box. Alright, let's keep going. Let's go backwards. Maya, what am I going to do next?
Make it equal m2.
Make it equal m squared? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, how can I make this m equal m squared? What do I got to multiply by, Maya?
Type button.
Like 4 people are answering and I don't hear Maya.
Sorry.
Quit stealing her thunder. What do I multiply by, Maya? M. Alright. So I'm going to multiply by m. Carissa, what am I going to do next?
I don't know.
I'll try it down first.
Times it.
Oh, that's in Carissa.
I don't know.
She said she doesn't
Oh, I didn't
know.
hear that. I thought you said wait. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. So we've got this m up here. We got to take this m and we got to multiply it by everything in front. So I'm going to go m times m is m squared. And then m times negative 8 is negative 8m. Like that. Okay? Raven, what do I got to do next that everybody forgets?
The time changes.
Raven, answer. So help me. Don't destroy your grades. Alright, what do we do next, Raven?
Change the sign.
Mm-hmm. So what's this going to be right here in front of m squared?
Negative.
And what's this going to turn into?
Plus.
So this negative 8m changes to a plus, and this was a positive already, so it changes to a minus. Alright, then we're going to add and subtract straight down. Cal, what do I get when I add straight down right here?
You would get 1m. Because the
Oh,
m squared.
yeah, we get 1m. I I was thinking right here, but yeah, you're right. Alright, and then Jaden, what do I need to do next? Yep, then I gotta bring down negative 11. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, I bring down negative 11. Devin, what am I doing next?
You're gonna have to do
What? I gotta figure out what can I multiply m by to get 1m. Just one, right? So I'm gonna go plus 1 because that's a positive 1. Alright, and Helena, what am I doing next? So alright, it's kind of a big loop now. I found out I need to multiply by 1, right? So I need to take this 1 and I multiply it by everything outside. So m times 1 is 1m. Negative 8 times 1 is? Yep, that's probably pretty easy. Alright, Thomas, what am I doing next?
changing to positive or negative 1m and plus 8.
Perfect. Negative 1m plus 8. And then we're going to actually add or subtract. And the m's cancel out. Negative 8, or excuse me, negative 11
Negative
plus
3.
8 is negative 3. And Austin, is there anything else to bring down?
No.
Nope.
Which makes negative 3 what?
The remainder.
So I'm going to go remainder, negative 3. So this whole thing equals, you don't have to write this last part that I'm doing. I just like doing it because it looks neater. It doesn't look so messy. So we get m plus 1, remainder, negative 3. It's a terrible 3. How do we go with it? Alright, you guys are trying one now. Alright, do this next one in the box here. Answer it on your own on your paper. A little bit bigger, I guess.
This one?
The one that's on the board. There's problem
The
3.
one that's on our paper?
Yeah. N squared plus 10n plus 18 divided by n plus 5. What you do it on your own, on your paper.
I just forgot to do it.
What is this also over?
Clarify the 5 or 7. Here's a line already. I think you're after. First is first. That's all I remember.
I'll go after the
Water.
first,
You're talking about the bathroom order.
I want water.
Why do you say
I just want to go back.
I knew you were gonna do that. Not
It's funny for me. That's what matters.
Is it?
Now can start it, Carissa?
Yes.
And let's see where you're at.
Nowhere.
So,
well, you're so smart right here.
alright. So we need to say multiplying this n
Yeah.
squared. We're going to have to multiply to make that n.
Oh, what the hell was that? No, what's required?
Then, right, so we put that n on top. Then we take it and we multiply that n by everything else. We got actually n, so n times n is. Oh.
Yeah, that's right. When you do one times n plus n squared,
Okay. Now this is stuff everybody forgets.
I was doing that if I copied down.
So that's going to be minus n squared, right? And that's going to really be a minus 5n.
I bet you need to hear my. Just digging her fingers.
Now the steps are, how do you make this n 5n? So
I did it
plus all
wrong.
the time.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
I forgot you had. I'm not worried about it. You don't wear shorts anymore. I did. One of those ones to the right. You took the yellow right?
So actually just the minus, right? It's gone. 18 minus 1.5.
I'll come back in 3 hours. Play basketball full time outside. You were
Alright, is there anything else we can drop down? So what does that make maybe 7?
You see that 101?
There you
You like, I see like,
That's it?
Okay.
Teacher like you in elementary school.
Okay.
I didn't have math in.
Look at it. They just messed me up more.
Alright, the whole process repeats now. Whole process repeats. So how do you make it in a 5 in?
I don't know.
warm,
Yep. Perfect. Stick the lighting.
I mean, to me it looks
so refreshing.
There you go.
So refreshing.
And usually for your major, put it up here. And just go
Oh,
on.
my bad. I just do that.
There you go. That's it.
Okay. What else to do after that?
Go straight down, right?
So it's negative 15.
I came to school, my hair wasn't brushed. I came to school and my hair just got out of the shower and we were up and got dressed.
Would it be 5 in minus 25
Oh, I see
dollars?
that. Okay. Gotcha. We're multiplying by n, right? What's 5 times n?
Oh, 5 then.
Yeah, that's just a 5. Not a 25.
Where's 5 times 25?
That's probably why.
There you go. Take your head off.
Goki!
Okay.
You're bad at math.
Yeah, it was a 5, not a 4.
Yeah.
It bounced off my hip like
25.
Okay,
So I just
so
need
it's
to
5.
change my remainder.
Why'd you put n squared if it's 5?
I don't know. I just put it like this.
So that's a 5 in. Right.
So
I went
in
in.
plus
I
5.
did in again.
On that.
You don't want to
change
change.
your remainder.
So you got the 5 and that's 5 in.
That's it. Alright, you guys are doing pretty good.
I'm still lost. Along the
Plus
bus.
5 remaining.
I haven't even solved it yet.
I messed up.
What do you do after you get 5 in plus 18?
Plus 18.
What do you do after that?
Times 5 to n and 5 to 5.
The negative part on your.
Remember?
So it's plus 5.
Pretty good.
You get, well, technically, yeah, you get 5n because you times 5 to n. So you get 5n plus 25, so it's 5n and then 5
Oh, and then you
plus.
change the sign.
Yeah, so it'd be negative 5 minus 25.
Same step.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
You know what? You're gonna do it on the board for us.
Okay, I think that's
I'll walk
all.
you through it. You're ready.
I think my nose.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna go over this one real quick. Raven's gonna write it down for us. You wanna go up to the board? You want to tablet? Alright, Raven's gonna write this for us.
You really did it.
Okay, so, we gotta get the pin first. Go up to the top and get the pin. It's right next to the highlighter and by the little wrench thing. Yeah, there you go.
Raven's way.
Alright, there you go. Now, let's get that set up, make our little box there.
Jeez, that is the
Okay, what
strangest
is this
line I've
crap?
ever seen. Oh, well, it's not on the board. Never mind. Tablet. I mean. How do you?
So, n plus 5, what? Just, yeah, there you go. So we got n plus 5 outside there, and then we got in the box. Hey.
I was like, what?
Oops, I think I got that for you, so you're not tempted.
Thank you.
Did I get on my watch? I don't.
He checks the time.
Alright. So, we've got this all set up. So now, we need to say, how can I make n an n squared? So let's help Raven out there. What do I multiply by to make that n squared? Multiply by an n, right? So we're going to put that n up top. Yep, right there. And then, LMA, what are we doing after I know that I got that n?
Wait, after multiply by n or the n, sorry, n squared. Wait, multiply the n.
So we're gonna have to go n times n and get n squared.
Sorry.
I'm gonna write it down right there. Yep, you got it. No, I wasn't quite sure how to phrase it. And then we got to do n times 5, which is 5n, right? So we're gonna go plus 5n. Yep, right there. All right, or Maya, what do we got to do next?
Change the sign.
So we're gonna change it to a negative n squared and to a minus 5n. So just kind of right over the top of them. Right?
Negative.
Yep, negative n squared right there. And we're going to change it to a negative 5n.
Your pen is so long.
I know. Alright, now we got to go through and actually minus them. So you're going to do this part, Raven. So, I go n squared minus n squared. What do we get?
No.
Ten minus five.
It's n squared minus n squared. We got nothing, right? Because they just cancel out. Then we're going to do 10n minus 5n. What do we get when we minus those?
No.
5n.
Yep, 5n.
You look like a scared little
So we got 5n right there. Alright. We're going to drop down that 18 next. Because I got that plus 18, right? Yep, we're going to drop it down right there. Alright. And the whole process repeats. Austin, how can I make n 5n? Well, I multiply by.
Oh, 5.
By 5, right? So up top, by that very top in there, we're going to do plus 5. Because we're multiplying by a positive 5. Alright. Then we got to take that 5 and multiply it by everything left of the box. So we're going to go 5 times n, and we're going to put it right there. Yep, we're going to multiply by 5 there, and we're going to write it underneath your last line.
5n.
Yep, 5n. And then we're going to go plus 5 times 5.
So 25.
Yep, plus 25. Do your 2's backwards. Throws me off every time. Alright, and then Raven, what do we have to do next? That everybody forgets.
Change the sign.
Go
Yep,
keep
so
stop
change your signs.
saying that.
It's a hint. I'm hinting, Austin. Because I don't want you to forget. So
So it's
every
like-
time.
I'm gonna forget.
Yep, so that's a negative, you're right. And then that plus is going to change to a minus. So just make like a minus sign on there. Just kind of scratch over it. There you go. Alright, and then we got to go through and add or subtract straight down. So what's 5n minus 5n? Yep, they're gone. Perfect. And then we're going to go 18 minus 25, which will help you out. It's negative 7. Yep, right there. Alright, do we have anything else we can drop down, Raven? Nope. So that negative 7 is our remainder. So up at the top by that 5, just go r negative 7.
Ow.
There you go. See? You can do this.
You do everything.
Alright. Nice job. So we're going to look at like one more thing, I think, and that'll be it. So, I want to know, is x squared plus 1 a factor of 3x to the 4 minus 4x third plus 12x squared plus 5?
You think we're gonna be done like that?
Is this a yes or no question?
Yes.
I'll
It is. But you can't
Yes.
just throw out a random answer and call it, all good. You gotta show some work here, or you're not gonna get any credits. So, you remember last section where we did like difference of squares and all that stuff? We are going to do log division, polynomial log division instead. So, this is gonna be a little bit bigger problem, but it's gonna work the same way. So let me get it set up. And when I do this, if I go through and I get a remainder of 0, I know this is a factor. My answer is gonna be yes, it's a factor. So, if I get a remainder 0, it's going to be a factor. So I got 3x4 minus 4x to the 3 plus 12x squared plus 5. I'm going to make my box here. I have an x squared plus 1 outside of it. Alright, so let's go through. And I don't remember where we're at, so we'll start with Jaden. Start in the back. How can I make x squared 3x to the 4?
3x. Yeah.
3x squared. Yep. Alright, so just like last time, I gotta distribute this. I'm going to get a 3x to the 4 plus 3x squared. And then we got to change our sign. That changes to a minus. It's going to change to a minus. And let's see, I'm going to get -1 and 2. Right? 3x to 4. No, why is this one different?
Because it is.
Oh, because I forgot to do. Oh, do I want to show you guys this one or not?
No.
Do it.
No, not
Do
yet.
it. Do it.
Don't do it yet. It's already long this lesson.
Yeah, we'll skip it. I'll have you get doing. We'll have you guys practice long division first.
I already attempted this and I did not get very good.
Yeah, I'll have you guys just do this first. We'll skip these ones for now. Alright. I guess you guys left out. Alright, do your exit ticket. So I'll show you real quick. Real quick. So on this one, we had an x squared, right? Did we have an x by itself? No, so we would have to go plus 0x. But we aren't going to do that here because it's more work, so we're just going to do it like this for now. You're welcome.
What about that one?
It's the same thing. Because you have an x to the 5th, right?
Yeah.
Do you have x to the 4 or x3 or x2 or x1?
No.
So you gotta write them in as 0. 0x4 plus 0x3 plus 0x2. But I'm not gonna make you do that because I want you to practice long division. So we're gonna skip it. And skip around. So do your exit ticket. I will turn on credit in just a minute and then put your homework on there.
I take it back.